Once, talent was your wings, carrying you to the highest peaks of gold and glory. But slowly, those wings became heavy iron chains of expectation. When the lights of the world go out, and the applause fades into a hollow whisper, you are left with nothing but a void within yourself. The genius who once had everything now stands before a mirror, searching for a soul that seems to have vanished along with the fame and fortune. He walks toward the edge of the world, as leaving behind the wreckage of his former life, seeking a place where his name means absolutely nothing at all. Every step is a struggle as the mud claims the symbols of his past. The weight of his failures feels heavier than the cooling ocean breeze. His fingers tremble as they touch the cold, wet wood. It is here, in this graveyard of ships, that his journey toward rebirth must finally begin. Day 1. The shipyard is a cavern of silence and shadow, ruled by Marcus, an old master whose hands tell stories of 1,000 finished hulls. The first lesson is not about craft, but about gravity. He tries to lift the weight of his new reality, but his body is weak and untrained. He falls under the weight of his own arrogance. Marcus does not move to help, for he knows that pride must break before the spirit can heal. A silent command points him toward the scrap, to find the genius within, and he must first learn to be a servant to the raw, unyielding materials. The nights are the hardest. The pain in his hands is a constant reminder of how far he has fallen from his ivory tower of luxury. His soft scholar's hands are being torn apart by the reality of labor. Every blister is a word in a language he never bothered to learn. Beyond the window, the sea calls to him, a vast reminder of his own emptiness. He is a ghost in a world of solid, heavy things. Day 10. The master throws a tool at his feet. It is an invitation to begin the slow, agonizing process of shaping something other than himself. The old anger flares up, the pride of a man who used to command others. He wants to scream, to quit, to return to his illusions. But there is nowhere left to go. He picks up the tool, and in that moment, the genius finally accepts that he is merely a student. He learns that you must bow down to pick up the tools of your trade. And the ego is the final barrier between a man and his truth. Day 20. The sun becomes a furnace, and the workshop becomes his world. He no longer looks at the clock, only at the grain of wood. The scars on his hands are beginning to tell a different story. They are the marks of a man who is finally learning the value of effort. The rhythm of the hammer becomes the heartbeat of his new life. Each strike is a rejection of the chaos that once defined his mind. He discovers the language of the wood, the way it breathes and resists. He is no longer fighting the material. He is finally listening to it. The silence in the workshop is no longer empty. It is filled with the focused energy of a creator who has found his center at last. He has stopped complaining to the universe. When the mouth stops speaking, the ears finally begin to hear the whispers of the soul's potential. Every drop of sweat is a payment for his past sins of arrogance. He is buying back his humanity, one long hour of labor at a time. Recognition is not given in words here. It is earned through the quality of the work and the endurance of the spirit under the heavy sun. In the stillness of the afternoon, he finds a peace he never knew in the city. The shavings of wood are the remnants of his old self. Patience is a lesson written in grain and glue. He is learning that greatness is not an explosion, but a slow, careful accumulation of small acts. By day 30, he is the last to leave. The ship is beginning to take shape, and so is the man who is building it. He looks at the hull not as a conquest, but as a companion. He has repaired a piece of the world, and in doing so, himself. The scars are no longer signs of pain. They have become his medals of honor, the proof that he has survived the death of his ego. Day 41. The rainy season arrives, turning the world into a blur of gray and water. The workshop becomes an island of focused, silent intent. And he rises before the light, driven by a discipline that has replaced his ambition. The darkness is no longer a place of fear, but of preparation. Each day is marked not by what he gained, but by the fact that he remained. He is counting the days of his own quiet transformation. 75 days of silence. The genius has disappeared, and in his place is a man who understands that true mastery requires a lifetime of devotion. The external world has become a distant memory. He no longer craves the noise of the city or the hollow praise of the crowd he left. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when the world is working against you. The rain cannot wash away his newfound sense of purpose. The master observes the student becoming a craftsman. He sees the steady hand and the quiet mind that no longer seeks a shortcut to greatness. Every movement is deliberate. There is a beauty in the utility of his actions, as a grace that only comes from months of repetitive, honest labor. The sharpening of the tool is the sharpening of the mind. He has learned that a dull spirit cannot create anything of lasting value or beauty. He is a stranger to the man he was 100 days ago. The soft edges of his character have been ground away by the stones of reality. Silence is the crucible of the soul. In the stillness, he finally hears the truth about who he is, stripped of all the titles and honors. He has found the center of the storm. The chaos of his past has been silenced by the simple, profound act of building something with his hands. Day 89. The journey is nearly complete. The numbers on the wall are no longer a countdown to escape, but a record of his growth. He is part of the ship now, and the ship is part of him. Every joint he has fitted is a bond he has forged with himself. The shipyard has become his temple. Within these walls, he has sacrificed his pride to find a much more sustainable kind of inner strength. There is no rush, only the pursuit of perfection in the smallest details. He knows that a ship is only as strong as its weakest plank. Success is no longer measured by the roar of a crowd, but by the feel of a perfectly joined surface under a tired, honest hand. He sleeps the deep, dreamless sleep of a man who has worked with his whole being. The morning will bring the final test of his transformation. But the storm is past, leaving a world that is clean, bright, and full of possibility. The long night of his soul is finally coming to an end. Day 90. The ship stands complete, a monument to 90 days of silence, sweat, and a total surrender to the art of the craft. He adds the final touch to the prow, his movements as delicate as a surgeon's. This is the culmination of his rebirth, his final signature. He does not see a trophy to be displayed. He sees a vessel built for the ocean, a creation that is greater than the man who made it. The genius is gone, was replaced by a craftsman. He has learned that true value comes not from what you possess, but from what you can create. The master approaches the work. His presence is a heavy weight in the quiet room, the final judge of these 90 days of grueling labor. His touch is a conversation between two masters. He feels the integrity of the wood and the soul of the man who shaped it so carefully. For a long moment, the world stands still. The master looks past the man's scars and into the clarity of his newfound quiet spirit. The nod, a simple movement that means more than all the awards in the world. It is the validation of a life completely rebuilt from scratch. He does not need to shout his triumph. The smile is enough. He has finally found the peace that the world could never give him. In the silence of the workshop, two men share a moment of understanding. They are both builders, both shaped by the wood and the sea. Now the ship is ready for the water, and the man is ready for the world. But it is a different world he sees now, one of substance. The journey from the ashes of glory to the silence of the shipyard has reached its destination. The vessel is strong, and the heart is whole. He is no longer afraid of the work or the silence. He has found his voice in the rhythm of the tools and the grain of wood. The lessons are over. The master returns to his labor, for a true builder knows that the work is never truly finished, only begun again. He has found his place in the order of things. He is no longer chasing the sun. He has learned how to glow from within. Day 100, the moment of launch. The ship moves slowly toward its destiny, leaving the sanctuary of the workshop for the first time. She takes to the water with a natural grace, a child of the forest and the shipyard, ready to face the infinite power of the sea. He does not board the ship. He does not seek to sail away into a new horizon. His journey was never about leaving, but about arriving. He watches his work depart, a part of himself now belonging to the world. He feels lighter, as if he has finally shed an old skin. He returns to the place where he was broken and rebuilt. The shipyard is no longer a prison. It is the birthplace of his true self. He clears away the dust of the last project, and making room for the new. The silence is no longer a burden, but a canvas for creation. He begins again, not as a genius seeking fame, but as a man seeking the truth in a simple, honest block of uncarved wood. The cycle of rebirth continues. 100 days were not to change the world, but to find the man who could live within it. Rebirth is not becoming someone else. It is stripping away the layers of dust to let your original, authentic self finally shine through the dark. In the stillness, he found his strength. In the labor, he found his soul. His new life starts now, in the quiet beauty of the work. Your journey, too, begins in the silence. Look within, pick up your tools, and find the courage to build your own path to the light.